and it's frequently used, and me and my colleagues use it a lot, and I understand that not everyone is accustomed with what does scale mean and what is the difference. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about, and so you get the feel for what's necessary when growing or when scaling. It's different things. As I see, economies of scale, then, this is nothing new. It's been around forever. Crowdfunding is nothing new. That's how you build churches and schools 500 years ago. Nothing new. It's a technology that made it work differently or more accessible. But I mean, everything is crowdfunded 500 years ago. They built a ship. Hey, they crowdfunded it. Maybe they didn't call it that. Maybe they made people, the church at least made people pay, not voluntarily. But economies of scale is the cost advantage that arises with increased output of a product. That's the basic. You get a cost advantage by producing many. And it arises because of the inverse relationship between the quantity produced per unit fixed cost. Do you agree? Do you understand? So for every extra unit produced, you reduce the per unit cost. So if you produce 1, it costs 10. If you produce 2, it costs 19. If you produce 3, it costs 27 or 26 or whatever. It decreases. That's economies of scale. And to get that, you need volumes. And that's why it's so, at least when it comes to software or apps distributed over the internet, I mean, that's a lot easier. Or music is fantastic when it comes to scalability. I record a song today, and I put it on the internet and sell it. You know, there's no more cost for me. And the distribution cost is slim to none. It costs almost nothing to distribute, if you can distribute through the internet when it comes to music or books or nowadays or whatever it might be. Extremely scalable, because the cost of producing yet another is almost nothing. But when it comes to products, physical products, you need to think things through a bit more. Can be done. Look at H&M. I mean, that's economies of scale, but it takes a lot of volume. IKEA, you know, Lego, I guess, definitely, still doing great. One of the really unicorns. So, and the difference then is seen, here's the hockey stick, right? This is what everybody wants to do. They want to scale. But it's not that easy. And the problem is, for most part of the companies I've been working with, is that this tends to cross over here, and the slope is going that way instead. So it takes a lot longer than you thought, and the delta is not that huge. So you tend to be a slightly growing company instead, but with a backpack of investors that have invested in your company because they thought you could scale, and now you can't. So you're stuck with a heavy investment, and you're not scaling accordingly. And then you have a problem, because they want their money back, and you can't deliver. So a lot of companies, they get stuck there. So you need to understand the differences. So if you believe that this is a business that can actually grow tremendously, it will acquire a few things, which I will come to on the next slide. But it needs to happen fast. And this is what all startups are looking for, that transaction. So they're willing to invest in the short term in order to gain a lot of customers and revenues rapidly. But that is, I would say, it's to least to say it's hard. It's difficult. So just to give you an idea of this, let's say you have a startup and you want to become a small company. The purpose then is typically you will have a turnover, let's say 10 million. That's a good turnover for a small company. You use a known business model, not a problem. Pick one. You want to be profitable because you want to be in business over time. And as you said, you want a good living, as you expressed it. You want to provide for your family, and you have a few employees, and you know, you're a good team, 5-6 people. And that's the nearby pizza house, right? Or clothing store, or whatever it might be, bakery, or your average store, or supplier of something locally. Could be your carpenter, or a few employees, a car, and they're moving around in the neighborhoods, fixing houses. This is not that hard to accomplish, actually. You can, with a set of skills that I guess you have, move into a business and probably find a space where you can succeed on this and do good, really. To me, it's more about courage than anything else. I could, most people can do this, even though you don't think so yourself, but that's my experience and my belief that anyone can really do this. It takes some guts. You need to invest some money that you've saved, not a lot, but still 100, 200,000, and be willing to lose it. But you can do this. The other startup then wants to become a scalable business, not a small company. And now the meter is running, as in a taxi, right? Once you start this, there is no turning back, because you have investors that's pumped in some money, and the clock is ticking. So now it's all about execution. And what they're trying to do then, and the purpose, well, at least 100 million a year in turnover. Otherwise, I would say it's not a scalable business. You will try to find a scalable business model that actually can be. Not every business model can be scaled. So you need to find that one that you can work with. You need to be investment ready, of course. You are definitely people dependent. You need good people aboard. You don't do this. This is not one-man show. You are depending on people that are excellent in, that share your vision, that kind of, they live for this. You need to incentivize these people. You need to bring them aboard, whether it's a stock option or bonuses or whatever. You need to get them aboard and get them to have the same drive as you have. As any research will tell you that. And their aim is to take over the world. I mean, they might look stupid to us normal people, but they are crazy to some extent. And also it's important to say, not many of these people succeed. This is tough. So only a few. And there's a lot of talk today about unicorns. You heard the word? I don't know the numbers, but it's startup companies that within a number of years exceed $1 billion in revenue. $1 billion. So those really high, fast-growing companies. I think we have 3 from Sweden, maybe. Could be Skype, could be somewhere else. I mean, it's not many, at least. So this is the difference. And there we have Pizza Hut. You see? It's the same thing, delivering pizza. But they made it into a concept that took over the world. It's Starbucks, it's H&M, it's all these companies. So they found a business model in which they could grow heavily and fast.
So within the fashion industry that we, or design industry that we're all in, it would mean that like either licensing or having your own shops and not selling through other people's shops.
It could be. The problem is that the ones that's been successful scaling, OEMs, we don't know about them. They're no brand. They're only brands for resellers. So we don't know about them as well as we do about the brands that you see on the streets in the cities. So there are a lot of companies that are doing extremely well as an OEM supplier, or what do you call it? When you produce shorts for someone who puts their brand on it. I mean, H&M or a lot of these companies, they just buy other people's stuff. They don't produce themselves. They buy stuff, IKEA or whatever it might be. So, but I just wanted to make an example of this is a difference in attitude towards what do you want. I have a colleague now that I recruited a year ago. He and his brother started in '92, a store that rented out videos. You know, in locally, had one store. Then they bought 2 more. And when they sold the company in 2008, the chain, which they had then, was called Hemmakväll. If if someone been in Sweden, I think there's 150 stores renting out videos, DVDs. And then they saw Netflix, they saw a few other trends saying we need to get out of this market. And today, 7-8 years after they sold it, it's no longer there really. Some of them have kept the brand, but some of them has just changed names. Like selling candy today.
What do you call the stores?
Hemmakväll.
Hemmakväll.
It's a saying in Sweden, hemmakväll. You know, you spend the night at home eating tacos and rent a movie. Fridays typically.
It's like blockbusters.
Movie night.
Yeah, blockbusters.
That's the same product.
Yeah, they're not there anymore. So to be scalable, or to be able to scale, you need a large reachable market. You need to have an idea on how to reach a market, and it need to be large, of course. You need proof of business. Not proof of concept, not proof of technology, not proof of business. If you're not profitable, the best way to go bankruptcy is to scale a business that's not profitable. That will just increase the speed by which you will go bankrupt, okay? You will need to have a full understanding of how to be profitable in the long run. Not just now. How can you make money along the way? Because you can't lose money forever. So you need to understand, how can I grow fast and still keep the profits, still keep the margins, because it's usually costly to expand. Investment ready, of course, because you probably will have help with the investments. I think that in one or another way you need to try to automate your production in order to keep your costs down for production. So you need to set up processes for how to produce, how to invoice, how to distribute. These things need to be automated in some kind. You need to fix your quality control. If you scale a business and you get a lot of returns, then you're out of business. So you can't scale before you're kind of home free with your quality. If you place an order for 200,000 shorts and they all break, or then you break. So you need to make sure that that is aligned. Distribution or customer reach, you need to find a good way. You need to have a speedy implementation. These are people that manage, they work a lot. This is not a 9 to 5 hour job, and it's not, I know for you, for sure. But they are extremely good at knowing what to do today and prioritize that. What gives a result and what is not. I can sit here all day emailing, doesn't really change anything. They understand that, and they recruit people to do stuff they're not good at. And they're lucky. Somehow they, and I've met a few, and they say afterwards that, well, we didn't really know. We hit a trend, and you know, shit just happened. Had we done this a year before or a year after, we wouldn't have a chance. Timing was everything. But then again, some people have timing. I don't know how, but some people feel trends before others and know what's going on. So they're somewhat lucky. So, the workshop then, what time is it?
It's fine.
Plenty of time, 2 minutes before a break. And this is something that you can bring with you home, is what if you were to grow 10 times from where we are today? If you have a turnover of 500,000 today, what will it take to reach 5 million? That's not a so absent thought. I mean, it could be done. I mean, there's none of you, I guess, that has a turnover of 20 million today and gonna reach 200. So it's still within, I would say, reach. It's tough, but it can be done. So what do you need to start doing today that you don't do? What do you need to stop doing? Spoke about that. Troublesome customers. You know, get rid of them. What do you need to do more of? And what do you need to outsource or automate in order to actually grow your company 10 times from today? And if you have some luck with timing and others, this is not, it's tough, but it can be done. And not necessarily in a year, but in 2 or 3 or 4 years. But then you need to have a plan. You need to kind of, once again, think things through and understand how this is going to be. Have a plan. Questions?